Kelly, I want to start with you here. And what we've just heard now from President Biden as he is casting his eye toward 2024, although with no formal announcement, at least toward the next 2 years of his presidency, while also having to manage the political footballs that he's got on his plate right now, to mix a metaphor, and I'm sorry about that. The White House has just released a clip from a conversation between the president and his VP. I want to play that.
What you have singularly done based on who you are, and I mean this in all sincerity, to bring together nations, allies in the world, and you bring folks together in a bipartisan way, uniquely.
Well, you've been
an incredible leader these last 2 years.
This is all very intentional from the White House today, between this, the speech, the cake, et cetera, Kelly.
There ought to be a cake because they are celebrating, and it is their second birthday in office, and they view that as an important milestone and one where they can talk about things that they believe this administration and this president has accomplished. And so they want to do that. And as you point out, it comes at a critical point. In some ways, the administration is lifted up by what it believes have been bipartisan achievements in the legislative realm and by some strength in the economy, with the job picture being strong, with inflation, which has been so nagging, but beginning to tick down, with gas prices back in a place that are a little less painful than they once were, with alliances around the world showing real strength, a lot of that due to the president's involvement in trying to keep countries together on Ukraine. A lot of areas that they are talking about that they believe are strong. Things in the bipartisan realm having to do with bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. in the chips area, and some of the other legislation they've done on guns even. Those are all the things they want to talk about. And it comes at a fragile time because there's been this documents issue that came up and is potentially something out of their control. And they now have a new Republican-led House that has the power of the gavel for investigations and the political resistance on important things still ahead, whether it's the debt ceiling and trying to manage the fiscal health of the country or policy things going forward. So it is a fragile time, a perilous time in some respects, and a time with opportunities. When will the president make a decision about his own political future? Our reporting suggests that would come fairly soon after the State of the Union address, which is expected to happen in early February. All systems go based on what we think is the plan for the Biden White House. And so they want to talk about what they think they've done well and position themselves for campaign time. And not everything is quite where they would want it to be. There are challenges, some of their own making, and some brought about by the political conditions the country finds itself in.